I'm Teresa Bingham, CEO of National Speakers Bureau and Global Speakers Agency. We're one of the original speakers bureaus in North America, celebrating 50 years of service. NSB has the key. We help you unlock possibility in your personal and professional lives and for your teams through connecting you with our expert speakers. And I'm pleased to introduce you to today's. Marcy Grossman rose from working inside the prison system as a criminal psychologist through the highest ranks of Canadian diplomacy, including as Trade Commissioner and Consul General, to become the Ambassador of the United Arab Emirates. She's overseen really challenging situations, including the evacuation of the Afghans during the Taliban takeover, navigating the busiest hurricane season on record, to leading hundreds of staff and their families through the COVID pandemic. She's also responsible for the creation of Canada's FDI agency, Invest in Canada, and she's respected for her international business development, brokering several multi-million-dollar foreign direct investment deals. Currently, she's the board chair for Celebrate Canada Worldwide and holds a senior fellowship at the Atlantic Council, one of the US's leading geopolitical think tanks, where she's working to empower women as peacemakers in the Middle East. Her remarkable rise offers a roadmap for us to embrace our unique strengths and navigate life with intention, advocating for us to become our own best ambassadors in every facet of our lives. You're going to enjoy today's session. Welcome, Marcy.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you for the warm introduction and a warm welcome to everyone who's joined us here this afternoon. As Teresa said, of course, my name is Marcy Grossman, and I am a woman on a mission. I'm a woman on a mission to share with you some of the secrets, some of the strategies, and some of the stories from the front line of international diplomacy. Well, what exactly do I mean by be your best ambassador? Well, of course, it's a play on words of my former career as ambassador. But to me, it's much, much more than that. What is the number one attribute of being a great ambassador? And again, some people mentioned that in the chat before. They were saying things like political savvy, great communication skills, et cetera, et cetera. And all of those are exactly right again. If you asked 100 of my colleagues who are posted right now, anywhere around the world, in fact, if you asked any ambassador who was posted around the world right now, you would get hundreds of different answers to the question, what does it take to be a great ambassador? I'm not talking about a good ambassador. I'm not talking about a bad ambassador. I'm talking about a great ambassador. Well, after observing all of these folks in the field and having my own experiences, I can tell you that the number one characteristics that differentiates the good ambassadors from the great ambassadors is leadership. And leadership in uncertain times in particular. And believe me, we are all living in uncertain times. What do I mean by leadership? I don't mean bossing people around. I mean getting down and dirty when you need to. I mean setting a vision and mobilizing a team towards it. I mean creating a workplace where people get along, where it's inspiring for people to get along. It's a very human kind of leadership. It's about relationships, because without relationships and diplomacy, you cannot get anything done. Let me give you an example of my first leadership experience. And it was very early in my leadership career. It was just after I had become appointed as Canada's Consul General in Miami. It was August of 2005. Yes, 2005. And I was 3 weeks in to my new job, and I was 3 weeks into the busiest hurricane season on record. On August 25th, 2005, Hurricane Katrina made landfall on Miami. There was no book. You know, a lot of people think that the number one criteria of being an ambassador, and this is what I thought at first, was being the smartest person in the room. But in fact, it is not. It's about leadership. It's about stepping up for other people. It's about stepping up in the face of adversity. It's about resilience. This same hurricane process happened 3 times, once every month for the next 3 months as 3 Category 4 hurricanes hit Florida. This was about resilience. This was about bravery. This was about encouraging people to do hard things when they were without electricity and when their own lives were being threatened. So What does that mean? For leaders like yourselves, if you're a leader, get ready. Uncertain times are around us. It might not be a hurricane, but it could be a natural disaster. It could be COVID. It could be a cyber attack on your business. It could be that AI is displacing your business model. It could be anything. If you're a leader in a leadership role, get ready. Get a coach, get a mentor, get training. You are going to be facing adversity at some point. If you want to be something great in the world, you have to understand the human condition. This is something that I brought from my psychological training. Understanding people, how to motivate people, how to negotiate, how to build relationships. This is the number one thing about being a leader. Make leadership a hallmark of your organization. Make it part of career development, reinforce positive leadership, punish bad leadership. If you want people to come to your business, your government office, whatever it is you're operating, and they want to be motivated to be there, and the one major thing you can do to motivate them is provide good leaders in the field. And if you're an employee, you deserve a good leader. Everybody deserves a good leader. So again, you don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You need to step up in an emergency. You need to be there for your people. You need to roll up your sleeves, and you have to face the challenges that come your way. You know, women only got into the field in corrections in the 1990s when I started. Before that, it was thought that women weren't tough enough. So I just was very determined. I was very determined to do a great job and to deliver. And the same thing when I got to foreign affairs, it was an equally tough crowd. It wasn't like inmates and correctional officers, but it was a very competitive crowd, and there was a lot of really smart people. So I differentiated myself by just doing the work, putting my hand up, and getting recognized. We have to be the promoters of ourselves, and we have to tell those stories so that people recognize our success. But I just want to say that the other part of it is the organization did not actually come up to meet me until mid 2010s, let's say. Finally, the organization started to change the structure that it allowed women to actually crash through some of those barriers, because a lot of the policies and procedures in the Department of Foreign Affairs are geared towards male colleagues. They're geared towards male ambassadors. But then the organization stood up, and the organization was determined to get female leaders out into the field. And I think that was also a really important part of my journey, was when the organization actually pitched in and started doing the things that they needed to do to break the barriers so that women could crash through the ceiling. And now we have equality in our ambassador rankings. 50% of all of our ambassadors in the field right now are women. And we're one of only 2 countries that have that. So it's pretty impressive. I really hope that you remember a couple things. One is that, and I believe this fully in all of my heart, if you can see it, you can be it. Sometimes you have a vision of what is possible. Sometimes you have a knowing. I implore you, lean into those callings. Go home tonight and figure out what is my dream. And of course, leadership matters. It's not about how smart you are. It's about how you show up for your team, how you step up, and how you help people shine. Be your best ambassador, and you will help make the world a better place.